Yo, yo, yo. So today's actually really exciting because if you guys remember, a couple videos ago, I installed coilovers on my car. But we had an issue, and the issue was that the struts were just a little bit too long, so I couldn't go as low as I wanted to. But today I'm thinking I'm just gonna say F it, lower it, hopefully nothing goes wrong. Okay, real quick, we're just gonna measure the distance between the fender and the top of the wheel. This one's about 3 inches. That way I can know how much to lower it, front and back, so it sits even. This one's about 2 7/8. So the rear measured 3 inches from the top of the rim to the bottom of the fender, and the front measured 2 7/8 inches from the rim to the fender. So when I adjust the rings on the coilovers, I'll just compensate for that so it can sit even front and rear. Okay, so I'm measuring right now. I'm just double checking so I could have all the numbers, make sure everything's even all around. So right now I'm measuring from the top to the second ring, or the bottom ring. It says 1 3/4 inches. So if I lower this an inch, when I measure it again, it should be at 3/4 of an inch. Okay, I'm just taking a microfiber right now, cleaning off the threads. It'll be much easier to turn the rings if the threads are clean. Okay, this is the only piece that we need, and we just need to loosen up these rings and move them up an inch. Okay, I'd say that's pretty close. Now we just gotta tighten these up. That looks pretty good to me. So I just finished adjusting the springs and putting everything back in, and this is a perfect time to show you guys what I meant when I say my strut is too long. So you can see in here, everything is bolted up. The bolt is in the strut. It's also, everything is connected, and the spring is loose still. See? It's just floating around. There's a little hole up there it goes in, but it's not tall enough to get there. If this strut was shorter and held this whole arm higher, then this spring would be safely in here. So right now, technically what I'll be doing is riding around with this spring only in this hole because of the compression of the car. So if I three-wheel up something, there's a very good possibility actually that this might just pop out of place or something. So, you know, so that's a risk I think I'm willing to take, just for the time being until I can get a new strut. yeah, there is a possibility that the spring can pop out or, you know, come out of place or something. Something could happen, but I think if I just be careful where I'm driving and, you know, be cautious of like driveways and, you know, steep inclines, I should be okay. Okay, so I just had a last minute idea. It may or may not work, but as an added safety precaution, I decided to add 3M tape along this cup. So that way when it sits up in the frame, maybe, I'm hoping, it probably won't work, but I'm hoping that it'll stick up there. Okay, I don't know if I can explain this correctly, but that way, if it's stuck up there, the spring has all of this. It has to like go 1.5 inches before it can pop out, as opposed to this little 1/2 inch before it pops out. So I don't know if this is gonna work. I don't even know if that made any sense, but we're gonna try it. All right, it's dark, so I'm not filming much, but I taped up, you saw me tape up the spring. So it's right there. What I did is I just kind of shoved the spring, or that little black piece, up in that hole, so it just sticks there for a second. Then I lowered the car down on these bricks and piece of wood, so it puts all the car's weight on there. So now that little black piece is in there pretty good. I'm gonna do the other side. That should give me enough time to drop the car without anything moving out of place. Just finished. It's still on that one brick, but this is the height. So what we ended up having to do is try to just seat that little black thing in there before we dropped the car, which we did. Then we dropped the car on a bunch of bricks, so that black little piece could really seat in there under the load of the car. We jacked up the car again and then dropped it on one brick. The reason we dropped it on one brick is because now the car is too low to get the jack out from under it without any bricks. It worked. I think because I put that piece of double-sided tape around the top ring, it seats in the frame a lot more snug, and it just sits there. So I actually think I solved my problem. Only time will tell though. So I'm gonna roll off the bricks right now and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, that's gonna wrap it up for tonight. It's too dark to do the front right now, but tomorrow morning I'll be up bright and early, do the front. What up? Alright, it's the next morning. Last night I started to feel a little bit sick, I guess. I think I'm getting a head cold, but I got a good night rest and I feel okay, so let's knock out the front. So we're just measuring right now, so we know how much we have to lower it. It has to go down 7/8 of an inch. Right now it's just about at that 3-inch mark from where I'm measuring it, from the bottom of the top ring to the bottom of this bottom ring. Just gonna clean off the threads. It's really important when you adjust coilovers to clean off all the threads. That's about where we want it. Lowered about 7/8 of an inch. Okay, so I just finished the fronts, and I ran into a slight issue. And the issue is, I lowered the rear an inch, and I lowered the front an inch. What I didn't compensate for is the fact that the rear springs are located more inside the wheel. So an inch in the rear is more like maybe an inch and a half or 2 inches really, compared to the front. So I can either raise the rear up a little bit, or I can drop the front more. And at this point, I don't even want to touch the rear right now, so I think I'm just gonna drop the front more. Here, I'll show you what it looks like. This is the back. This is the front. Okay, I just measured it real quick. I'm gonna try dropping the front another 7/8 of an inch, and I'll see how that looks. Alright, that's what we're sitting at right now. About 1 inch and 3/16. So that's another 7/8 inch lower. Alright, I just finished. It looks insane. Ready? Insane. So I'm gonna just wash my hands real quick and we'll go take it out for a spin, see how it drives. So I just drove the car around a little bit. I stopped at a gas station. Everything seems to be working great. I mean, it rides great. I can turn. Honestly, it couldn't have gone any better. This was a little bit lower than I originally wanted to go. Like I said, because of the back, I miscalculated that. But I dig it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe if you like this type of stuff. I really honestly do enjoy making these videos. It's fun for me, it's fun for my friends. I like to show the process of building my car, which I think I should have done on my last build too, but I didn't. But I think it's cool for you guys too, because you get to see, you know, what my mind thinks when I'm building my car. For example, using the 3M tape to stick that little black cup up into the frame. Those are like, you know, on the spot decisions that, you know, I just come up with. And it leads to my cars being how they are, you know, how they turn out. It's cool for me to come up with something like that on the spot and it worked perfectly. So I want to share that with everybody else. So yeah, that's it. My next video, I think, will be putting on the downpipes and the exhaust with my good friend Danny at Slammered. And after that, we're going to Simply Clean.
Why they wanna be me?
Wait. I forgot to say. Going right now to take pictures of the car. They're gonna be up on my Instagram later today. So if you don't already, follow me on Instagram at Goodwin26. That way you can stay up to date with, you know, everything that's going on with me, the car, my homies, whatever. Now we can cue the outro.
Yes. Why they wanna be me? It's not what it seems. Running to the bank, putting wet on my Achilles. We been thumbing blue faces like they Washingtons. On a run from MIA up to Washington.